games. It's 14% of the 25% of games he's not banned. It's what, 3/5 of the time you're seeing him grab the North America when available.
Adjusted pick rate is basically pick ban.
Yeah, pick rate divided by unbanned rate.
Now on the other side though, the Braum, which was previously first pickable, going to be the case here again. Dardoch abandons the Graves that he has so much confidence in, steals away the Rek'Sai. Going to try and push Reingover onto something like his Olaf or see what else he has to offer. Reingover's Elise also, by the way, is always something that's very potent and very much forgotten, which it should not be, because when he's on Elise, he jump starts both Pobelter and Huni as far as the solo lanes go. He spends so much time up and down the river trying to gank for those guys and get some early presence in his solo lanes.
And as Dardoch was talking about earlier, the stats across these two players, Reingover is the assists per game leader of all junglers. It's not like he's just killing jungle monsters while his team wins the game. He's in those fights, just not getting the last hits based on the champions he's playing. I know Immortals are very good at making sure they give over the last hits to the proper players. You actually saw that in an earlier series, actually. As they're like running down, like hoping Huni can get the last hit, but he can't reach it, so Pobelter takes it. Speaking of him, he's going to be up against Victor in the matchup as Liquid lock in a very similar comp from before.
Yeah, I would definitely assume that's locked in. Okay, the Olaf is secure. Reingover, they need him to be that full tank building for the front line, especially when facing Jhin. We're going to reiterate that every single time facing Jhin, but it is going to be Pobelter taking up the Zilean. So they still have such a good mix of damage here on the Immortal side. Whereas Team Liquid, they've got the Victor wave clear, as well as the long-range pick potential of Jhin, plus the early threat of Jhin Braum in lane. I'm still really hoping for our featured matchup to shine in standard lanes, and we really get to see more early influence from Dardoch and Reingover. But I think that this might be another attempted lane swap, a way that it's opening up once again.
Sivir Nami could be a very interesting 2-on-2, seeing how it plays out. Braum, Jhin, definitely reasonable in their own right. We'll see what happens. Trundle is going to be the pick into the known Ryze top here.
Yeah.
So Lourlo on a fighter, which is a strategy that tends to work better for Liquid than him playing a tank.
Yeah, I think that Team Liquid are definitely going to look for a lane swap, unless they're so confident that Dardoch can get to that Ryze Trundle matchup early.
Yeah,
he can't. Ryze can really gain control of the side brush in a top lane 1v1 isolated match so easily. It's pretty hard, even though Trundle is one of the best as far as melees go.
Yeah, his sustain got nerfed at 613, so Ryze, you imagine, can probably push him out. Haven't seen the matchup played since those changes, so it changes the landscape somewhat, where normally Lourlo could just withstand all the punishment. But they have a similar backline to before, the same Jhin, the same Victor, the same Braum they had in the previous game, just a new front line for themselves, really. Trundle and Rek'Sai replacing the Shen and the Graves from the last one. Better do look for Liquid, the mage of the top lane now, but another fighter plus a Zilean and a Sivir.
This again looks pretty scary for Fabbbyyy, as the Sivir and Zilean are going to enable Olaf and Ryze to run straight for the back line here. We'll see how well they can peel Ryze. Olaf, definitely good luck peeling him because he doesn't care. And he's going to have extra speed too.
And a tidal wave coming through on top of it. So great 5-on-5 available for Immortals. We'll see if it works out for them. Liquid and Immortals fans, time to show off your love you have for your favorite team. Jump on Twitter and send us the best photos of you and your squad's team spirit. We're looking for jerseys, mugs, painted faces, all of the ways you show your support for these teams on stage right now. Tweet us at LOL Esports, #LockIn. Let us know how you're watching these teams do battle, because we are into game 2. Immortals 1-0 over Liquid. Liquid hoping to bring it to game 3.
All right, we'll take a look at the spread. Last time I was tricked by the initial defensive spread from both squads.
Those scumbags.
They very well could still seek that lane swap a bit later, go for the blind swap. Again, I think that Team Liquid do not want Lourlo Trundle versus Huni Ryze in an isolated situation. There's a turning point there where Ryze gains control of the side. Oh, Reingover really early
goes. To force Fabbyy's eventual flash. Exhaust Azani flashes over towards his teammates, and Adrian actually not part of this one. So 2 summoners burned for 1. However, Immortal summoners are shorter cooldown.
You definitely want your lane swap now. You've got a Jhin out there. He doesn't want to be in standard lanes.
Yeah.
versus Olaf, whose Ghost is going to come up much quicker.
But look, this by Immortals,
Then
they're
the
trying to
flash.
bait it out. They're hoping that Fabbbyyy recalls and runs up to that side of the map.
Yeah, this is the mind games, right?
Yep.
Your blind swaps, your blind swap calls. And Team Liquid at the moment going to leave them down bottom.
Okay, so lane swap game here. Huni will walk in a lane and not see very much. I want to see if Reingover gets a leash or if he just solos the blue buff. Looks like
Should be just solo it
Yeah.
for Olaf. He doesn't
doesn't
care
really
about
help.
getting low. It actually helps him.
Actually, yeah, prefers to take a bunch of damage. So standard stuff otherwise here, and yeah, no big problems. Nami Sivir very slow at killing Gromp. They actually might miss some CS as a result. Lourlo leashes for Dardoch in the top side of the map, who should be just fine here. They see that Trundle's up there, which means that Nami gets to run around the map, and Adrian immediately reacts to seeing Trundle and says, I'm going to mess with Dardoch, who does not have Smite. And never mind, Adrian comes back.
All right, we'll see if any of the teleports get interrupted this time around, as both top laners trying to soak up experience. Lourlo gets fully zoned out, though. Doesn't get the dying experience of the ranged minion. Huni, the exact same. They both got 3 melees, and that's it.
It's about the best you can hope for here as he joins up Reingover for a short time, helping him knock down the red buff. Looks like Huni's really not going to be joining the turret take just yet until he probably teleports in.
Yeah, so what you want to do is use your teleport on the minion that gets to the tower
Back-
first,
Yeah.
so that you can have a quicker push. But Immortals, their top side, hasn't pressed the minions up to that point yet, so he's saving his teleport for that point. He might even actually just walk up since they're taking so long, as he talked about the Gromp taking a long time for the Immortals duo. Huni might not even use his teleport, to protect the minion and just hoof it up here. But ends up walking halfway, then using the teleport anyways. Does defend the minion, is going to get the large wave push. And that should be just fine for them. They're a little bit behind in turret health at the moment, but they should be able to catch up because Team Liquid's minion wave will die.
It's like, oh, it's going to be, no, just in time. Okay, they got it all to happen. They're going to be fine here. Do you want to point out Turtle missed the cannon minion? Unlucky, but it happened. Some gold missing down the drain, and you're seeing a 200 gold lead for Liquid. Better at last hitting. Look at that. That 50 gold difference in 80 carries. Wow. Massive, obviously.
There it is. Solo gold. Thank you very much. Huni, thank you very much as well. Let's see. The deep ward is there for both teams as well, so they can see when the duos head into that lane, and they can start, the solo laners can start hard pressing, trying to scramble for all the CS they can get before they have to evacuate this ward. They don't even care about it being in tower range.
They just want to know if Fabbyy's coming. And now they know. It watches both the exits. Nice by Fabbbyyy. He W's the brush, make sure no one's hiding in there.
So is this some sort of mind game?
Yep. Doesn't trigger thunder.
Right here.
You notice that he doesn't trigger the Deathfire Touch Mastery. It would otherwise, it would pop up if he hit someone. It says, okay, no one's in that brush. I can walk in the lane safely. Matt joins him. They're just fine up there. And they go into round 2 of the lane swap, where the AD carries and supports are once again unopposed. And you typically see someone join them. And somehow Liquid are on a small gold lead at this point in time. It's usually minion wave based. And Adrian, oh, he didn't actually get the heal to bounce.
Yeah. You don't want to go any deeper than that.
Yeah.
Pillar might
Flash Pillar would kill
cause
him.
you to blow your own flash,
Yeah.
and maybe even Turtle's heal or something to try and save him. But
Yep.
doesn't commit to it, so it's just fine. Health potions will be able to make that up. Both teams just answering here with their Lourlo a little bit further behind.
Smite fight once again. Dardoch wins.
Vengeance
This time Dardoch
this time,
wins.
yeah, vengeance this time for Dardoch. Gets the wolf spirit. That was the greedy side for Reingover to be on, though.
Right. Well, it just makes that jungle quadrant even safer for Liquid to run through. Once again, fighting for Raptors. Neither has Smite, so it's a close battle here. Both mid laners joining in.
They better kill it quick, though. Reingover's is going to come off cooldown, and he get the reset. Now it's off cooldown. He should be able to secure it. But Dardoch is up. Round 2.
And it's in the rush, though. Gets it. Reingover this time wins. Sorry, buddy. Nothing good for you. Liquid knocked down the top lane outer turret first, and Immortals shouldn't be far behind. But Liquid has still managed to scrounge up more farm overall. You can see This turn's only worth 800, but it's a 1,200 to 1,000 gold lead actually for Immortal, or Liquid rather, otherwise.
Yeah, a decent amount of that is in the mid lane. You can see the CS advantage for Fenix on the Victor. About 200 there.
Yeah, you actually, if you look at the individual comparisons, Huni's up 100, Reingover's up 70, 200 for Fenix.
I think we're getting a little bit too microscopic here with 70.
Nothing's happening, all right? Yeah, you're right. 70's a bit low, but
what's our threshold for early game
probably 100
gold differences that actually matter?
I would generally round to 100. If it's not, if you can't round it to at least 100, I think it doesn't count.
Yeah,
that's what I'd go for. Matt, interesting choice actually. Russian mobility boots. That is pretty atypical on supports. It happens more in Korea overall, but champions like Braum and Alistair who can go for the early sort of ganks, the early playmaking. Matt is sacrificing vision to try to get himself into a random lane and maybe upset Pobelter.
Definitely agree. The Sightstone will be delayed in the lane swap situation, though. Everybody sticking to their own sides, pretty much honoring the battle lines here as they've been drawn. A little bit, tiny bit greedy here from Dardoch to start on the weak side, but just saw the recalls from the rest of the Immortals team, so plus he can rely upon the Tremor Sense. I think that first tick did see Reingover, yeah. He drops his pink ward though, so maybe he thought it was yeah. I think if you see that first tick of the Tremor Sense, then save your ward. Just get out of there. Looks like it's for Team Liquid though. They don't want to continue trading turrets here and open up the map. They'd much rather defend secondary and try and retake control. They're going to catch this minion wave.
They're going for the play onto Huni. Flash away. Only level 4 on this Rise. Healed up by Adrian. Matt walking in. Gets the passive on once again. Look at the damage on the Braum. He kites away successfully. Reingover running back and forth. And ooh, the quick revive. But now Reingover out of HP. The first blood goes over to Fabbbyyy with the curtain call. Huni still dangerously low. The chase in for Lourlo. He can't quite win it. Takes a heal. Dardoch onto Adrian.
They're gonna clean
and
up.
Nami can't survive. So that's a kill picked up. 2 for Liquid. A third comes in as a nice snipe comes through for Dardoch. A trade kill in thanks to Pobelter knocking down Matt. But 3-1 advantage. Liquid finally getting a good early game against Immortals.
Huge picks in their own jungle. And the crucial thing is that they had just hit the level 6 for Fabbbyyy. Jhin ultimate's so powerful in these early picks in the jungle where it's really easy to hit. I think he's able to hit all 4 bullets here as Fabbbyyy roams down. They have him in this corridor. It's very tight, allows for multiple knockups. Great Trundle Pillar. Huni doesn't get to do anything before his first life goes down. Then Dardoch also gets blasted. Easy lasers, easy Victor ultimates. I mean, everything here for Team Liquid funneled through this little corridor, and they're able to chase Immortals out. Bomb doesn't end up killing Matt, I don't think,
It
right?
does.
Oh, it does.
Even hit Thunderlord.
So they got, yeah, sorry. So they did get the counter kill at least for 1 there for Immortals, but still, such an uplifting opening here for Team Liquid after their first loss. That is going to help the team try and rally and keep this series alive. We talked about the mental fortitude of this Team Liquid team. Back when they had that game that was remade on them versus Cloud9 when they were down a game, and they still were able to rally and come back in the series. Immortals, though, we always talk about not letting up on the pressure. They get right back out on the field. They threaten for the Drake. It is stalled out here by Team Liquid, though. Not going to let them get away with that.
Right, but yeah, you were talking about Immortals keeping the pressure on. Games never look like Immortals are down in goal. Even if they are, they're always very quick to the scene. They're always proactive, and they often ignore the small goal deficits they can sometimes get into from their aggressive plays. And they invited Liquid to not react in time, but thankfully for Liquid, they did.
Yeah, and there have been games where that does end up costing Immortals as well. We talked about Team Liquid when they're behind. They keep trying for a lot of these plays, even low percentage plays. Same thing goes for Immortals. And specifically, a lot of those plays usually start around Huni. So our eyes are definitely going to be around the Rise, around Huni, who is just sitting on the mana items right now. Dardoch on the ward going to start out this Drake. Because Reingover's up on the top side, it should be pretty free. It would only be a Sivir Boomerang to steal it. Turtle has a knack for stealing these things, though.
Not going to come out in time. Good combo right there. Dardoch did not smite, but the crit came through from Fabbbyyy. And they're all good to go. Early Ocean Drake's not a bad thing for Liquid here, as He looked for a play. Adrian slowed down by the chair. Into the everything. Smack down he goes. Fabbbyyy, 2-0-1 with an armor pen build, will scale rapidly into this mid game.
Yep, he's building for the more quick end here for Team Liquid, and that was a perfect pick to help them snowball this lead that they've already got. That is Olaf, so he could just get himself out of that situation if need be. Team Liquid, though, they are overloading this bottom side after the pick.
And nice by Matt, puts the shield up to block all the AoE out of Wildturtle's Sivir. Reingover, I believe, did land the axe on that Krug up there, so he took the big one back and did not allow Dardoch to steal. So a small gain, I guess, or preventing a loss. Lourlo does not get stopped in time. That last quarter second, your recall will complete unless CC'd.
Yep, or unless you die.
Actually, no, it's 0.01 seconds now, actually. That got changed a while back. So that's a really tight timing. And fortunate for Lourlo.
Yeah, might have been able, probably could just walk away with, but the delaying the back and delaying him moving up to catch this top wave would have been a little something back for Immortals as they try and recover from that early invade. Remember when Immortals, though, punished Team Liquid early on in game 1, and they got this sort of a lead.
Yeah.
It was just that one mistake from Team Liquid early game. A couple of early kills over to Immortals, and they snowballed like crazy.
Yeah.
The question here is, can Team Liquid do the same thing? Team Liquid have a team that's very capable of that. They have the champions to do it. We saw it already. Multiple picks here with Jhin. Fabbbyyy opening up very quickly on the low health targets. The question is, can they actually pull it off here against Immortals, you know, and transition into the mid game where they continue to take the turrets. The last outer here is the mid turret. They need that to open up the jungle. Yeah, start taking that away from Reingover, but not starting quite yet.
And Liquid don't have a lot of very powerful champions. So Dardoch has 2 kills. He's really big. He can impact map a lot. But you look at Lourlo right here in the top side of the map. He'll match up level 7 at the end of this wave, but you can see the minion difference is pretty large. And Huni has a lot of priority in that top lane.
Yeah, that's why it really is emphasized on Fabbbyyy, because Fabbyy's got the early 2 kills as well, and he's got an early Ghost Blade.
Ooh, 1 tick on a turtle, 2 ticks, 1 dodge, 4th shot missed as well. A reslow into the flash knockup, and Dardoch should be getting this kill, but at what cost? They're running out of HP, and he actually can't kill off Turtle. Zillion buys enough time that it all just happens well, but they picked off Huni. There's the zap, there's the pickoff. But with this going down, he does not quite get stunned, gets healed off, but a lot of damage still coming out of the Chaos.
Killer,
low HP, Pobelter's low, the flash auto attack comes through, Fabbbyyy gets another. It's 3 kills for 1. Liquid finding another advantage.
Again, opened up by the Jhin. They're able to catch out the bottom line. Everybody teleporting down, and it turns into the 10-man party.
And it's funny because one of the things we talked about with Liquid when they made the roster swap is, well, they don't have to play around bot lane anymore. It's not the Piglet show anymore. But look at this. It's Fabbbyyy and Matt starting all the plays.
Whoa.
And the rest of the team constantly going to their lane.
Good hesitation step there from Adrian.
Yeah.
Tapping the S key so he didn't get snared up, because that would have been the kill. Rom could have finished up stacking the passive. Here we go, though. Turtle actually does a good job of dodging the last 2 and surviving a little bit. But Dardoch comes in, flashes for the knockup. Let's look at that Huni teleport. So deep there. He actually sacrifices on the front side while Reingover is able to clean up that one on Dardoch. And then the chase from Team Liquid. Pillar spam plus Jhin. Jin's ability to chase people. Unpellet. Ends up in an extra kill, but let's snap back to live here. We said we were going to keep our eye on Huni and see if there were any more of those very aggressive moves by him. He's pretty far up in lane, but he should be able to run back to his teammates.
Yeah, dodged away from the root, and now curtain call once in. Nope. Yep, misses and turns it off. Just kidding. No encore after all.
Immediately cancels, so he refunds some of the cooldown.
Actually, I guess if you stop the curtain call, does that mean there is an encore? Like, I forget what exactly curtain call means. Dash would know. I'm sure he's like, I know this one. I'm always with the wrong caster, because like Zyrene also did like some drama stuff in school. We had the moment arm where you weren't here, but you told me after the cast with the Lucian guns.
Yeah.
I'm always with the wrong caster when I come up with terminology.
I'm going to go ahead and say curtain call is the very end of the show. So what you went with second, correct.
Right.
Meanwhile, Sivir's been pushing up this bottom side, the split push here from Turtle. Lourlo's gone to catch that wave, and now trying to push it back the other way as Team Liquid try and pressure all 3 lanes and do a sort of Immortal style full map pressure here with their lead. Remember, this is still a meager lead. This is only 1,000 gold. This is not huge combat effectiveness. That's a big difference between these guys. Mainly, it's the fact that not only did Fabbbyyy get a lot of these kills, but he's also an early game build. Fabbbyyy has super high flat armor penetration.
Which scales off over time.
This is the most efficient flat armor penetration build you can go. Serrated Dirt is where the value of flat armor penetration is even derived from.
Right.
And then Ghostblade, pretty much 100% efficiency there, even more with the active. Yeah. So he is really, really threatening to Nami, Sivir, and Zillion right now. Even Ryze. Huni is still considered fairly squishy.
Only 42 armor on Ryze. Actually, both Turtle and Adrian have more than him. So certainly a consideration. Huni, the least armored target on the team. And another Drake goes in. Double Ocean actually means a lot of siege power for Liquid, but no other stats for them. You can stay out on the map very long. Maybe that comes into play here.
Immortals are doing a good job keeping up the wards. They've got a lot on this top side, allowing Huni to push up, allowing to get more farm onto that Ryze so that he can become the mid-game powerhouse that we all know and love. They also need that vision to avoid these picks.
Yeah.
Because that's what Team Liquid are going to continue looking for.
Lourlo's still playing second fiddle here. You're seeing him give away a lot of the farm, right? He killed some of the minions and walked away and said, Fabbbyyy, it's all yours. I'm just kidding, buddy. Lourlo with a very defensive build as well. You can see the early Spectre's Cowl, but now is finishing towards Ravenous Hydra. A bit surprising to not see him just complete going tank.
Yeah, it's not like they're giving him the super short end of the stick, though. They're just sending him bottom to catch that other wave, so just trying to have Fabbbyyy in the top side a little bit more isolated. They have some protective wards over there for him.
Right, there's no Drake up for a while, but Baron's in under 2 minutes, so keep your teleport on the opposite side of the next objective to play for. Keep your dual lane near it, so standard lane assignments for Liquid. Keeping up with some of the basic shot calling components. You can see Immortals doing very similar things.
Yeah. And Immortals still are going to have that strategy. You know, they're going to have Reingover, extra speed, boost him up so he can get to Fabbbyyy and try and shut him down, as Jhin has a hard time dealing with things like that on his own. However, what Team Liquid should do, if Immortals just try and run straight through them and get to the back line, Lourlo, never mind. Pobelter's under attack.
He's slowed down. He's knocked up. He's actually going to wait it out. No, he ticked down to the red buff, and the gravity well's going to time out anyway. They're not quite going to get the damage. Not quite putting the resources properly, but now Reingover maybe staying around a little bit too long, getting heavily injured. Look at how little health he's got.
Yep, that huge chunk on both members of Immortals is going to mean that Team Liquid should be able to move in for turret damage here. Huni's moving up the river, you can see, and Pobelter does have teleport.
But Pobelter's just waiting over the wings, tossing double bombs around.
Reingover's the one who went back to heal.
So Huni loses priority on the bot lane because of the mid lane pressure. He has to defend for Liquid. Pobelter, another recall stop, but now Matt taking some damage. Bubble on as well, plenty of CC, and he's actually dropped below half HP. Dardoch actually does not finish the red steals. Huni knocks it down. Red buff rise, and Matt, dangerously low, can no longer be part of this fight. So no real capitalization from Liquid.
No, actually a really good defense from Immortals there. Not only do they not give up any ground, but they also chunk out Team Liquid very heavily. Remember, there's 2 Ocean Drakes, though, for Team Liquid, so chunks like that aren't going to cost them a lot of map pressure, and Immortals can't really get an objective back on their own. Really, it's just the defense there. They didn't lose their red buff. They didn't lose extra damage on their mid turret.
Yeah, the big up that Liquid has for this is basically everyone's going to have infinite mana on this roster. Lourlo can constantly spam Bite and always be topped off, and Fenix, if he ever loses a blue buff, he'll still
Turtle.
Spam. Now Turtle, ooh, a bad tunnel taken by Dardoch. He didn't know where he was because of Tremor Sense. He didn't have any real vision.
Yeah.
Guessed incorrectly. Turtle gets away. Fortunately, gold's still only 1,000 ahead. And you mentioned it before in the cast, Kobe. If Immortals had had that 1,000 gold lead, they'd have been smashing this game already, most likely. Liquid not quite able to pull the same sort of plays you imagine Immortals might have.
Yeah, it seems like Team Liquid really rely on Jhin and Braum picking people off. Dardoch does have flash, so there's a possibility of Rek'Sai getting in there for the flash on Burrow. but it has been respected by Immortals. Immortals have plenty of speed on the Sivir and Zilean for pretty much everyone to remain safe.
See Reingover, he's going to go for the knockup, actually. Here comes Braum as well. This should force out Reingover's ultimate. If he, yeah, because look at the damage coming across. He's got to pop it to run away. Definitely hurt as the team came across. Lourlo runs away.
Yeah, got to be very scary. This Ryze has a huge CS lead.
Yeah.
His 2 main items are completed. This is pretty much where the biggest spike for Ryze does come from.
Right. 8-stack Rod of Ages and Seraph's done, so he's basically built up the big ability power. The question then is, does he go Void Staff third to be a better glass cannon, or Guardian Angel third to make sure he can survive the fights he's in? Lourlo continuing to build towards his Ravenous Hydra. He's actually stopped building tank stats for a while. The Spectre's Cowl and the Merc Treads were first, and now he's just squishy. By comparison, Adrian taking a whole bunch of damage. Wildturtle spell shields 1, keeps his teammate afloat. And because he took no damage, had not got rooted either, but now damage onto Reingover, losing a lot of his health bar down to 2/3. He's going to be okay on this one. We'll get the game sounds back soon. Don't worry about it, everybody. Because right now, Liquid just trying to pressure the top side, and they can't get it really done.
Yeah, I mean, they are holding it for Lourlo to move up on the other side of the map, but Huni's going to go answer him. Level 11 Ryze, as we said, spiking very strongly right now. The Rod of Ages is almost fully stacked, and the Seraphs is completed. So Huni right now is feeling very confident, even though he's 0-2.
Yeah.
Very, very strong, and you do have to respect the 2-item spike from him. So Lourlo should probably back off as he does. Team Liquid going to respect Immortals engage at this time. Remember, Immortals also are running the double teleport. So there is that cross-map potential.
I do think it's interesting the way Huni is building. He is going towards Void Staff third, which is not always the most common, but he is with this Zilean on his team. So he's picking a more glass cannon riskier build. However, the risk on him is much lower thanks to his teammates, and I actually think I quite like the choice there.
Yeah, I mean,
nice blue up.
It's kind of a weird debate because, you know, 1 revive is great. 2 revives is still great in itself. I mean, then you have one that you could use on someone else.
Yeah.
Or just pick him back up a 3rd time.
Sure. But if you're not under threat, of course, you want to maximize damage. So it's him forecasting that he's under little enough threat that he wants to go more glass cannon. That's the choice he's going to make. We'll see how it plays out here in this one. As Immortals once again just holding on to the mid lane. Reingover did have to smite his own blue buff away, by the way. We saw that a second ago. So Pobelter, you can see, has no real mana regeneration in his build, has no Ocean Drake to speak of for himself. Liquid actually getting all the out-of-combat Drakes, actually.
Are they going to give up a secondary turret for this, though? Yeah, 3 Drakes is great, and Cloud Drake, you know, when all the turrets are down, you have a lot more space to run around, but
look at that.
Another turret for Immortals here, and that one is actually going to tie the gold perfectly for them.
Duskblade coming out of Fabbbyyy. Maw of Melmortia is probably next up, so still pushing for that flat armor pen build. But as the 3rd items come in for the AD carries, you imagine Wildturtle is going to be a lot better once he gets his Infinity Edge compared to Fabbyy's furthered armor penetration.
Yeah, again, it's the Sivir late game AoE crits versus the Jhin damage that can be stopped by a single tank. That's why I'm saying what the team fight is going to look like here for Team Liquid, or should, if Immortals run right into them, I would say that Lourlo should immediately ult Reingover, shred Reingover, just burn down the Olaf. You do not run. Stand your ground. If Team Liquid can stand their ground and burn down the Olaf as he runs in,
they're looking to burn down Wildturtle. He already spell shielded the fight, and
Dardoch
is just running away. He's on the wrong side of this one. He didn't know Immortals was there. And suddenly a long armistice is broken as Dardoch gives his life away.
What in the world?
He wanted to steal red. He thought he could beat Wildturtle after he saw him, but he had no backup.
We mentioned before Svenskeren and the way that he's been playing with TSM in our discussion of junglers. It's all team-oriented. Jungling is so much a team activity. You cannot go for a single-man red buff steal at 25 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
Rek'Sai or not, relying on Tremor Sense is still risky, and he gets punished so heavily here. Team Liquid look like they're beginning to question themselves even after the early lead in this game. And Immortals have done a good job of slowing the pace, pausing the game after that early misstep. Sitting on a ward the whole time, yeah.
He has no one. So he cues it. He's like, okay, I'm going to kill the ward. The red's coming towards me. And then suddenly they're already behind him.
Yeah, I mean, suddenly.
He could tunnel right. I feel like.
Into Huni and then flash away. But Reingover's there.
Yeah, they just all ended up being there. And the thing is, you look where the rest of the waves are, and Immortals had lane priority. Top lane was pushing, bot lane was pushing.
Exactly.
So
Regardless of,
takes.
regardless of the paths he could have taken once he got into that situation, we look back at how he got into that situation, and he has no pressure from any of the members of the rest of his team to really consider doing that.
Yeah. The thought is always you can't be that far ahead of the rest of your team. They've got to be able to threaten joining you and be there to help if something goes slightly awry, and that was just simply not a possibility. Dardoch with an unfortunate rookie mistake, and it now means that Immortals have a gold lead for the first time really in this game. It's only 200 gold, but it certainly means something as Liquid hope to maybe push a bit farther forward.
Yeah. As they're kind of calming down right now, we can further examine the philosophy there, and what's going on in the players' minds. Everybody knows that feeling, right? Where you have an idea in your head where you see some opportunity to gain an advantage for your team, and you want to take it. But if the circumstances are not correct for you to take it, if you don't have your teammates, reading your mind or communicating to them or in position to back you up, even though theoretically that could be the right play if everyone was there to back you up, can't make that choice. Sometimes you have to pass by opportunities if you're not prepared to take them with the rest of the squad. And now Immortals actually have Turtle getting caught. And there's an opportunity.
Turtle getting knocked up. It's going to be a whole lot of damage, and Dardoch picks the kill up. Matt stops the tidal wave, and Reingover, ulti or not, is running with his ghost to get away. He will survive the encounter, but now Liquid are playing without an enemy AD carry.
Pobelter now gets knocked up.
Ooh, a bit too far up for him. He's not going to get sniped just yet. Dardoch, a great bubble from Adrian to buy some time, but here's the Chaos Storm and the Pillar. It's forcing the revive. Nowhere for Pobelter to go. He should die after this one.
This is huge for Team Liquid. Oh, Huni's coming in too.
It's a 3v5 though. Can Immortals really get anything done?
Nope.
It's going to be the snipe by the Reingover. Why do Immortals even go in? They give away another kill. That should mean Baron for Liquid.
Yep, this is a huge opening for Team Liquid. The only way is Huni makes a hero 1 versus 5 play here at the Baron. Can Rise kill them all?
He's going to look for it alongside Adrian, but Lourlo is tanky enough. He's built some MR. Flashes out of the bubble. There's no chance at a smite. Actually, there's no smite up for Dardoch, so theoretically things can happen, but they pick it up.
Great screen there from Lourlo. He goes to use his life as a body blocker there to make sure there's no play from Huni and Adrian to sneak in and start damaging the team. You have to screen for Baron like that to make sure the rest of the squad can pick it up, and then he uses his flash to get out. This is exactly what we were talking about. The Jhin picks. Team Liquid, they see Wildturtle. Dardoch is in position. Immediately, Fabbbyyy opens up. They're able to get the kill on the most important member. And then Immortals starts marching in.
And they just picked off Huni.
One by
Huni's
one here.
dead on this one already, so they get to push in and get a whole lot done. Liquid now looking very good in this second game. Cresting the half-an-hour mark with the Baron buff on, with a lot of gold off of it, and this could mean several turrets.
Baron buff, March continues. Dardoch's going for the dive.
Another ill-fated defense, possibly by Immortals. Reingover and Wildturtle are putting some damage on towards Dardoch. The snipes all miss. If Fabbbyyy had hit those, I think Reingover would have been dead, actually. So
definitely would have.
Missed accuracy.
It is a lot of speed on the Immortals squad. They've got Silver Ultimate running, so everyone's zigzagging, but Immortals are making a lot of back-to-back unforced errors here. Yes, Turtle got picked, but Pobelter walking up, getting the chain kills here for Team Liquid is what made this such a monumental mistake from Immortals and huge, huge turning point for Team Liquid in this series.
Wow, so there we go. Liquid looking to make the upset happen. Right now, 3,000 gold up, double cloud, double ocean. They can play the rotation game and stay on the map so easily with this kind of setup. We'll see if they can continue to outshot call. This is, of course, still much more work to do. They still got to finish this game. It's not the biggest of leads. They've also got to get it through to game 3, but
yeah.
Pobelter said they weren't happy with how their series went against Envy. It was closer than they meant it to be. Their aspirations are going to Worlds to challenge TSM, to be the top dog in NA. And here they are, slipping a little bit in this game too.
And it has to be Immortals playing as a team. They had gained so much strength when they're a 5-man squad and they can cohesively try and dive Team Liquid, but everyone being spread out, everyone marching in one by one after the fact of a team member going down, give Team Liquid a huge advantage in this game and the opportunity to even up the series and force a game 3.
See if they can do it right here. Baron's still on for just under a minute as we figure out how they want to play the siege game. They ping their top wave, say, hey, it's pretty far away. That's 20 seconds to go. There's nothing to fight for otherwise. Mid lane cleared pretty rapidly by Pobelter. And now Wildturtle is here to defend on the left side of the map. Immortals have roamed over. Wave cleared in. There's the melee minions. Ricochet comes across, but here comes the dive. They want Wildturtle. He ults out, and he's going to stay alive for now. Bubble hits Dardoch, but here comes the curtain call, and Pobelter's one attacked here, and he blows up, not getting to cast the Chrono Shift. So a 1 for 0. The snipes coming across, and now Reingover attacked and slowed and rooted and picked off, and Fenix is unstoppable. Into the back line they go. Adrian drops as well. Huni was split pushing the whole time. There's a triple for the mid laner.
Whoa.
It's a 5 versus 1. Liquid own the base.
Huni's going to cut off the minion wave here, but Team Liquid are tanking the turret anyway. They'll be able to kill this without minions even.
Yeah, Baron buff time's up, but they've got 2 melee minions to join them. That could be enough to kill the Nexus turret. 20 seconds on the revives Liquid to pull in the game 2 upset. And Huni, what can you even do?
Baron buff has fallen off. It could be close here. The minions are still alive. Huni's trying to cut him.
There's no chance. They're going to close it out, and Liquid looking to continue the chain of upsets today. A game 2 victory over Immortals, and this series will go the distance.